Dawne Ranken is in the studio. We've been looking forward to having Dawne in the studio with us for a while now, and her book is called Murderblind. It's a mystery novel, and as I read the book, I couldn't help but wonder if it wasn't a true story. And there was somebody who posted a review on Amazon that kind of told me the answer to that it was a true story. Dawne is in the studio to talk about the book. And good morning, Dawne. How are you?
Good morning, Larry and Robin.
Good morning.
I'm fine, thanks. I'm happy to be here.
We have some backgrounds in common.
We do.
You went to Calhoun High School in, what is that, North Merrick? Where is Calhoun? Is it Merrick?
It's in North Merrick.
I should know where it is.
You should, really.
Yeah, I was confused. Merrick, Belmore, I was confused.
It's been a long time ago.
Yeah.
Yes, but we're actually classmates. I mean, we graduated the same year.
Yeah. Well, good to see you. And you moved to Florida when?
I moved to Florida back in the 70s.
Okay.
Late 70s.
Let me tell you, when I was reading the book, when Rob and I were reading the book, the first thing that happens is we fall in love with this character named Grayson. And I don't want to say too much because I don't want to offer spoilers, but I'll say this much. Grayson doesn't live very long in the book.
Correct.
We get to know him, though, throughout the book because
Right.
you keep giving us flashbacks of Grayson. In the book, you dedicate it to Jason.
Yes, that's my son.
Jason is, oh my goodness, Dawne. So what happened in the book happened to your son?
Yes, and it's what I did. I mean, this is my heart in this book, and my catharsis, which has actually allowed me to be upright and walking today.
You must have just been crying your heart out as you were writing this.
Oh, yeah, definitely. As a matter of fact, I started writing this on the one-year anniversary of his passing, and I wrote continuously, and he passed in 2008. So when I couldn't bring myself to do anything with the book. I just couldn't, because it was mine. And now that I've decided to put it out there, to get it out there for the universe, I was working on the book, and my husband came to the door, knocked on the door, and asked me if I wanted a turkey sandwich, and I turned around, and I was absolutely crying, heaving, and sobbing.
Sure.
I said, this is such hard work. So, my labor is of love, without a doubt.
So this is a true story, but you tell it as fiction. So let's explain why you did that rather than just writing a true story.
Because he was the police report called it a suicide,
right? And
this was just unfathomable to us, and we just wouldn't accept it, and so we went about investigating.
We as readers. We're with you. We know as readers, I mean, you did such an excellent job of explaining what really happened.
Thank you.
Did you happen to read the review I left on Amazon for you?
I did, Larry. Thank you very, very much.
And in the review, I said, we love some characters. I didn't want to give spoilers.
Right.
And I think already for this listenership, we may have blown... Because...
Right.
When Sonny is you.
Correct.
You are Sonny.
I am Sonny.
So, because you're Dawne, is that when the sun comes up in the dawn?
Correct.
Is that where? Okay. And do you really have a sister named Rain?
I actually don't. I have a sister named Dale.
Oh, okay. But it makes sense, Sonny and Rain. I thought that was clever.
I know. And do you know, I really didn't give that much thought. I just love the name Rain.
Oh, really?
And I knew I needed one that I could change the I to Y later on.
Right, which is beautiful. I mean, exactly. All right, so we're reading the story. What was I going to say now? I lost my train of thought here. But, oh my gosh, I just lost my train of thought. But anyway, so as a story, and I start to wonder if it was a true story. And this is what I was going to say. On Amazon, I mentioned that you will fall in love with some characters. You will learn to despise others.
Right.
So Ima. I didn't know how to pronounce it when I was reading it the whole time. And part of it, by the way, I was listening to on my Kindle because it speaks to me, and it didn't know how to say the name either. It said Ima. Yeah. So who is this? This is a witch. Is she still around?
She lives and breathes, yeah.
Really?
She's in her community, and she continues to do her thing.
How much of this can we tell? I mean, how much?
Well, you know,
without ruining it for the reader.
I think that anybody going to the book, people that know us, know what happened, as that we lost our son. They didn't know quite what had happened. So for them, it's enlightenment, and I think that it's okay for everyone to know that he is gone and that this is a tribute to him. But detail-wise, there's so many. It is so frustrating. And I think that's really what the reader needs to find out, is just how frustrating, how obnoxious some of the people are that were involved in as officials, and
the incompetence of
absolute
the officials.
Incompetence.
The incompetence of the officials and the manipulativeness of Ima?
Ima, yes.
Is that her real name? No.
No.
Yeah. Oh.
No, good grief, no. No, but I selected a name that wasn't commonly used, and and seriously, I thought, I'm a killer throughout the whole thing. That's really, I'm a killer, I'm a killer, I'm a killer. That's how I approached it, and how it, motivated me to write the next.
Before, I was absolutely sure that it was a true story, and I thought it was fiction. I thought I was being set up to being surprised at the end, that it was really Nugget.
Yeah.
I thought somehow. Nugget. Yeah, that's where I thought you were going to take me to. I just didn't give us. That wasn't a spoiler.
No, but I have to say that I spent time there. I definitely spent time there on each and every person in my reality.
Right.
I had to give weight to everyone and everything, and so I'm glad you said that, because it made you think.
You brought in a lot of characters early on in the beginning, before you got to the crux of everything. That must have been extremely difficult as a writer, to focus on all the characters instead of just gradually bringing each character into the story.
Well, actually, it was diversionary, for one, for me, because it was so heavy. If I just concentrated solely on Grayson, I don't think that I could have seen my keyboard. So I did bring in people and surrounded myself with those people. Is basically what I did as I wrote. And they were with me,
The listeners need to know a little bit more about the story. We're kind of leaving them out of this a little bit, so because we've read it, and this happens to us all the time whenever we enjoy a book and we start speaking to the author, which is a real treat to have you in the studio.
Thank you.
Quite often they're on the phone, so it's nice to have somebody in the studio. So is it possible to give a movie trailer version of the story, and then we'll kind of get into more details?
Yes.
Go ahead.
You want me to talk?
Yeah, I want you to. Yeah.
Okay. We were leading our very simple, wonderful life when we received a phone call that our son had committed suicide. And, of course, we became unhinged and wouldn't believe that for a second. And we immediately began our own investigation while we tried to plod through life in grief and still maintain our everyday work, and so every day we'd go to work, and in the evenings I would come home and I would make phone calls and call people that lived in his area, ask them if they saw anything or whatever, and took any little tidbit that I could. And of course, with such an active mind as mine, I just kept fanning the
Calhoun
flames.
gave you that active mind.
It did, yes. It was in the water in Merrick. I'm definitely sure, and so I just really had to keep on looking under every rock, but I definitely had a sense of what took place. And we had to wait so long for evidence and that sort of thing. So,
wow.
Yeah.
We're up against our weather break, so we'll be right back. Dawne Ranken is in the studio. We're talking about her book, Murderblind. It started out in our minds thinking it was fiction. It turns out it's not. We'll be right back. This is The Source, WOCA Ocala.
The weather is brought to you by myfwc.com. Safe boating is no accident. Partly sunny skies today with a couple of thunderstorms around in the afternoon. High 89 to 92. A couple of showers and a thunderstorm this evening. Otherwise, clouds breaking tonight. Low 73 to 75. Times of sun and clouds tomorrow with a couple of thunderstorms around. High 87 to 92. And a shower or thunderstorm early tomorrow evening. Otherwise, partly cloudy skies. Low 72 to 76. From the Florida Weather Center, I'm Stephanie Omo.
Hey Adam, those burgers gonna be done before summer's over?
Maybe. Why? You got big plans for the summer?
Not really. Just the usual, kids hanging around the house. How about you?
Actually, I'm having Joshua get his pilot's license this summer.
What? Is he old enough? Can you really do that in just the summer?
Yeah, you can get your pilot's license at 17, and the summer is plenty of time. Plus, this could be the start to his career as an airline pilot.
That is a great idea. I bet Tyler would love that. Actually, I would too.
You guys should do it.
I don't have time for that. Some of us have to work for a living, you know?
Not you, no. Seriously, they work around your schedule.
Really? That's cool. Where are you going?
Ocala Aviation, at the airport off 60th.
How'd you hear about it?
I heard about it on the radio, then I stopped in. I've got a card if you want the number.
Yeah, hold on. Let me get my phone.
Hurry up, the burgers are burning.
Okay, I'm ready. Go ahead.
861-7484.
Hold on, I missed a number.
Ah, such a slacker. Here it is again. 861-7484.
Excellent. I'm gonna call them now.
How about we eat before you start your new adventure?
That's probably a good idea.
You think?
Robin, how do you like my design?
You're designing a box?
That's not a box. It's a doghouse.
Rough draft for your rough? Sounds like you need personal service.
I do?
Yes, to print the blueprints. See Mark at the Personal Service Center. He can print blueprints, notarize permit applications, print and mail out invoices, and even provide great-looking business cards.
Personal Service Center. That's the one on the corner of Northeast 25th Avenue and 24th Street, right?
Just look for the yellow signs. Your pedigree palace will be a reality in no time.
Your home is safe, or is it? AA Lock, Dock, and Security. The name has been a staple in Ocala since 1985. Do you have the right equipment in place to have peace of mind when you are at home or away? AA Lock, Dock, and Security has the right people to install and monitor your home or business. Call today for a free on-site security analysis. Call 867-1965. AA Lock, Dock, and Security, 219 Northwest 10th Street, 867-1965.
You've got a garden and we've got a show for you called You've Got a Garden with your host, Master Gardener Carol Ann Baldwin. Carol Ann answers your questions about your flowers, your veggies, your grass, your trees, even questions about your bugs. And she's only on WOCA, so don't miss Carol Ann Baldwin and You've Got a Garden each Tuesday from 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. right here on WOCA The Source.
Your official news source, WOCA.
All right, 18 minutes after 11 o'clock, Dawne Ranken is in the studio. Murderblind is her book. It's a mystery novel, and she is an excellent writer. We were talking during the break about, Rob and I really do speak to a lot of authors, and, we review many of the books before we speak to the author, and not all of them, and some more than others. And it really hinges on the book itself. If it's a book that we've kind of read before, whether it's fiction or not, it's like, okay, we kind of know where this is going. We get the gist of it. It's impossible to read all of them. Yours, we went completely through. So that says, hopefully it says something.
You have in there, it's not all dark, though. You have
Correct.
comedic moments.
Oh.
The older man trying to hit on the younger woman, and it's just very, very funny. Too, you laugh out loud in some places.
Thank you. That was with intent. I think anything as heavy as this, you definitely, and in our own lives, we laugh as much as we possibly can. Even though you would think that we couldn't possibly ever laugh again, we do. We laugh frequently because it's like breath.
Well, we went to the same high school for part of our youth, and when I was that age, the same male mind back then is still in me. Yeah. So there was a part of the book where Ima is teaching somebody how to get beer and make guys happy without getting pregnant. And I thought, make guys happy without getting pregnant. I thought, you know what? I wish she would tell me what they were doing. I really want to know, because I've got that male mind. I want to know, what is she doing back there with that beer?
I would never know.
I'm just teasing. No, and it's hard to joke about somebody who you hate. I hate this Ima, whoever she is. I don't like her at all. I think early in the book, not she, but her very gullible friend Bertha was compared to the real.
Eileen Warnock.
Yes.
Yeah.
Is that because she looked like her to you guys?
The Eileen Warnock's trial took place across the street from our auto repair shop.
Oh, really?
Yes. That was in Volusia County. And that trial really struck me because I really did feel for Eileen Warnock, because from infancy she was just absolutely abused.
Oh, did you know her?
No, but
okay.
I read her history, and
Okay.
it was just horrible, horrible. And so, we discussed it a great deal. And then what actually did happen and the things that she did and the way that they did their, that they came off,
right.
that we read about, the evil that we experienced. My husband is not spiritual in any way, and yet there he was. He was stricken by the evil that was present between these two people.
Wow.
And there is a Bertha.
Oh, there's a Bertha.
Okay,
Yeah.
and she's homely, obviously?
Yes, yes, she is. Yeah.
In every way
Beyond
that a
words,
person
yes.
can be homely. Okay. But here's one thing I wanted to... This is what I'm reluctant to say. It feels like a spoiler, but it's so early in the book, and we've already established that Grayson is killed, even though they say suicide.
Right.
When the phone call is made, and Dwayne...
Yes.
Dwayne is the name you gave the husband character?
Yes.
Right? That's not your husband's real name, right?
No.
You've changed everybody's name.
Everybody's name. Well, not exactly. I'll tell you a quick anecdote when you asked me my question. Yes.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Well, this isn't a question.
Oh, okay.
This is just I hated that he died. I didn't know he was going to die. And when you put that Sonny, which is you, screamed at that news, I felt it. I felt it coming off of that page. I heard that scream. I can't remember if you had a bunch of E's or Y's or what you put in there to represent the reaction you had to that news.
It was extremely primal. I never experienced anything like that. As a matter of fact, I read that this morning. And, of course, I cried.
Yeah.
And it wasn't so much my take on it as it was when I called my brother-in-law and told him, and I know from what I wrote, I have no idea what took place at their house. I just imagined what took place, and that's what I wrote about. And so that's the part that really killed me, is that Rain went through such, torment as well.
Sure.
Our whole family was just like sucked down the rabbit hole. And in trying to find out what actually happened to him, down was up, left was right. It was just like, please, could someone please tell me the truth? Everything had been rifled through. Everything had been gone through. I had to find out why everything had been gone through.
For the listeners, I want to tell you why this is a book you don't put down. Even though you already know that the character Grayson dies. He dies early in the book. What keeps you from putting this down is your investigative skills.
Thank you.
What you do, what you wrote about, makes us all wanting to know more. What did you find out? How did you find it out? The thing that we talked about during the break that I won't say on the air, but you observed something in the DVD testimony that was body language that told everything.
It did.
It was an amazing revelation, and yet I still thought I was being led to
another character.
Yeah, somebody else being
Well, I think that what I had done is I actually used a jeweler's loop, an eye loop, and I had looked at the photographs of my son. I had looked at them up close, every cell, every pixel I looked at, I studied. I was looking for blood droplets and the trajectory and all the things that you have to learn in order to come up with what actually happened. And so I was looking at that video the same way. I mean, staring. And a person to go into the same room that we ironically went into for an interview to the very day, to watch somebody who, never looked at the camera, made sure their hair was down. I was not even thinking about a camera being in the room. I wasn't even thinking about, is my hair all right? I mean, really?
Yeah.
But watching her going, the shaking
and the incompetence of the investigative officer, I wondered if there was a reason for them wanting to cover up something. I don't know if there was. I don't know if you know. But.
Well, all that I could come up with for that, which I would like to say that the detective purposely does not have a name because he didn't deserve one, and his lack of opening up a folder that was 1 page thick, and he didn't read it. It was open and shut, as he said, and to him. And the photographs, you know how they have the little ruler next to the evidence, and
right.
when you picture the big, flash bulb going off of their big camera. Oh no, that's not what these photos are. No, there's no ruler, there's nothing. It's just like, that's it.
Right.
Well, you have written a book that the reader can't put down, but in the bigger picture, you've written something that will help other people get the courage to do what you do and to question and not take everything as law, because your demeanor is excellent, your physical appearance is excellent, you're not weathered looking, you're not, strange in your responses and things like that. You've really, you could have gone the other way and gone off the deep end, but now you're helping a lot of people.
Thank you. I appreciate that, Robin.
The writer in you has been born. I mean, I read your bio. You've been always writing, but this was your first novel?
Yes.
Okay, and now you have a second one that's almost done?
Yes, I was writing it simultaneously because this absolutely was draining. And I wrote from the time I got up until, I didn't sleep back then. I wrote all night. I wrote all day, I wrote all night. And to take a break, I just moved to a different computer, and I sat there and I wrote another book.
Isn't that amazing?
It really is amazing.
Oh, you were going to elaborate on the names?
Somebody's name is real? You kept somebody?
Oh, yes. Thank you, Robin. Yes. As a matter of fact, another person from Long Island who I happened to meet in Florida over 30 years ago, who remains my friend to this day, his sister-in-law on Long Island was retiring. So he recommended my book to her as something to do in her retirement. She was reading and called him right up to say, I have been to Newfane, Vermont. I have been to the church where the pastor asked if there's any good news today. She said, I've been there. And Newfane is a real name. It's a real place, and the church is real. And in it, Grayson says, his good news is that Mrs. Chafee is feeling better. That happens to be this woman's aunt, Mrs. Chafee. I reached somebody on Long Island whom I had no idea they even existed. So it was kind of fun.
Phenomenal.
I was heartbroken when I found out that this was a real story.
Yeah.
I really was. You've done a wonderful job.
Thank you.
You sent us this copy, and if you don't mind, I'd like to give it to a listener.
Please.
So if you're out there and you want the copy that Dawne sent to us, it's yours. Just tell me so, and your name will be put on it. It's called Murderblind, and it definitely is. It's one you don't put down. 622-WOC if you want the book. And
I brought an extra one.
You brought an extra one.
I did. I brought another one.
All right. So let me take this call. We can give two of them away then, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Good morning. You've got the book. Who's this?
Linda,
you've got it. It'll be waiting for you.
Thank you.
Okay, you're welcome.
Bye-bye.
Okay. I don't know if you could hear her or not. We're out of time. I'll take the next call off the air, but if you can tell us, how do we get the book? Amazon, the best?
Amazon, the best, yes, now.
Go to Murderblind. Dawne spells her first name with an E at the end. Dawne, Ranken, Ranken. Come back with the next book, okay?
Thank you.
All right, looks like you got somebody else. I can squeeze it in real quick. Come on, you got the other book. Who's this?
Ken.
Ken, you've got it. You know where we are?
Yes, I do.
In the mall. Okay, thank you, Ken. You've got it.
Okay.
All right. Dawne, thank you so much.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Don't be a stranger, okay?
Thank you.
We need to take a little break, and we'll be right back.
Fox News Radio, I'm Pat O'Neill. President Obama getting ready to unveil a strategy to defeat the militant group ISIS.
He told NBC's Meet the Press part of the strategy involves building a core coalition to fight the group.
The entire international community understands that this